So, for the closing of Freethought Fest, no pressure at all, Frank and Dan. So, Daniel Beecher is an actor and writer living in Salt Lake City, Utah. Years ago, he launched the Thank God I'm Atheist blog as a small personal project. After trying to start a podcast, and about a year later, one of his friends, Frank Feldman, approached Dan about doing a funny spot on a local radio show. Since it went so well, the Thank God I'm Atheist podcast has been going very strong every week. Frank Feldman is a documentary film producer based in Salt Lake City, where he has produced a number of films. He has been recording the Thank God I'm Atheist podcast with Daniel Beecher every week for over 4 years. Please welcome Frank Feldman and Dan Beecher.
Hey everybody!
Check, check. Hi everybody!
Oh yeah. Hey, how's it going?
We're in Madison.
I know, it's very exciting.
It is very exciting. Hi guys! Alright,
Well...
I have not been instructed on the clicker. Here we go. Okay. That just kills the music straight out. That's what we were hoping for. I want to thank our opening act, James Randi. Thank you very much. Kind of dirty cool having that touching moment at the end there. We're supposed to be funny and that's not cool. But it's alright, thanks a lot. So what we're going to do, we're just going to sort of do our thing. We're podcasters.
So we're going to mimic sort of the format of our show.
Yeah. And we're just going to tell you some stuff, do some news, whatever. We'll have some fun here. First story. I'm sorry, try it, right? Yeah. We actually did more preparation for this than we normally do. And
it feels a little too rehearsed.
It's throwing us off entirely. Just completely. Alright, so first story we're going to do, there is a new cross being built in Corpus Christi, Texas. It is giant. This is a 210-foot tall cross that's going up in Texas.
That's on the cross.
It's not a small thing. We went on a road trip through the South a couple of years ago, and just for the podcast because we thought it would be funny. Turns out it was
moderately.
It was kind of funny. I don't know. It was all right. The South is interesting, and we actually saw the cross in Texas that this is now beating. So I thought I would show you a little clip of that. Well, hey guys, here we are in beautiful Broome, Texas. Well, technically Broome, Texas is over there, and put my fingers like this. Broome fits between them. Behind me, obviously, is the murder weapon of Jesus Christ. It's a big damn cross. We got a lovely little pastiche over here. Apparently, there's the people hanging and people in Japan having food. It's said to be like in loving memory of the innocent victims of abortion. Why, Jesus? Why? Why does this have to happen? Ma'am, I'm with Thank God I'm Atheist. I'm just wondering if I could ask you a few questions. Sir, do you mind just breaking this little moment for a minute, just answering a couple questions? The scale of this cross is really sort of the only factor that's important when you're driving past it. I think this is literally the only thing that anyone cares about in all of Broome, Texas. You can see this thing from the next county. That's how big it is. Broome, Texas is a place for lovers, a place for martyrs. I'm Dan Beecher. But thank God I'm atheist.
All right. I didn't plan my wardrobe for that video. I apologize for all of you having to see my belly. So yeah, now that one's been beaten.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's
Makes
very
me
sad. Groom's gonna have to come up with something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. What do you got? You got a thing?
Well, yeah, I have a story that actually happened here in Wisconsin.
Woo! Go Badgers!
Yeah.
Wow, the pandering's not working at all.
Yeah, Donald Trump is, his big foot and his
Big orange mouth.
or his tiny foot and his big mouth. All right. So this actually happened after the infamous abortion thing. It happened at the exact same time, but the whole abortion story completely ran the news cycle for a second about Donald Trump. And then all of a sudden, another story came out that happened with Chris Matthews, which was where he put his foot in his mouth. Anyway, I'm a little nervous, guys. It's normally recorded.
Can you guys all act like a microphone?
I'm just going to look at Dan.
Yeah, look at me.
Well,
that's all right.
so there's, he has decided that he has this like God damn it. He has a Muslim, he wants to ban all Muslims from leaving the country. That's not the news, right? But he has decided that he wants to let his rich Muslim friends through this ban.
Right, yeah.
So,
obviously. You gotta let the rich ones in.
yeah.
I mean, obviously Muslims don't have morals, but wealthy people, I think we can all agree, have a solid set of morality, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
All the
absolutely.
rich people are rich people. So, that's that story, so.
Okay, so that's nice. I just want to. So I'll move on to another story. This is Dateline Scotland. This is great news for anyone whose name is Hamish Florsheim or Connor Sanderson or something. Anyway, there's a new tartan in Scotland for Jews. The Scottish Jews can now wear their tartan. It's a lovely blue and red plaid. Not sure the need for it, considering Jews have only been in Scotland for like maybe 300 years, but there you go. So good news for the.
You can't leave them out, Dan.
No, absolutely not. So yeah, if your name happens to be.
Were those the official names?
No, I'm just making up names. I'm just combining Jewish and Scottish. That's the joke. That's the joke, people. That's it. That's all I got. I could do it in a Scottish accent. Would that be funnier?
Yeah,
It all would be.
yeah.
I'll tell you an actual joke in a Scottish accent. There's a Scottish couple in a very, very remote town and a village, and they get a doctor for the first time. No, they've never had a doctor in the village. They've always had to drive, hundreds of miles or whatever. So this couple, they call up to make an appointment. And the woman turns to the man and says, "Hamish, I just made an appointment with the doctor, and he says I've got to bring a specimen in, but I don't know what a specimen is." And he's, across the road there, Betsy, she had an appointment with the doctor, maybe she knows. So she goes across the street, she comes back later, she's completely disheveled. Her hair's all torn out, she's bloodied up, and her nose is bleeding, and her clothes are torn. And goes, "What happened, woman?" She said, "Well, I went across the road, and I said, hey, the doctor says I've got to bring a specimen. I don't know what a specimen is." And she looked at me straight in the eye, and she said, "Piss in a cup." So I said, "Shit in your boot," and the fight was on. Jokes. With accents. Very classic.
Is it my turn again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, excellent. I get to fuck it up again. All right. So Dan, have you heard about this? There's a Christian summit coming up.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, why weren't we invited?
I don't know, but actually it's not coming. It just happened. It's being organized by Josh McDowell of the Josh McDowell Ministries and Covenant Eyes.
Wow.
Which sounds right.
That's a weird coincidence that he's got the same name as the place he works for.
And so he is very concerned about pornography.
Oh.
The horrors of pornography.
Like bad production quality?
He feels like he has noticed a change in this next generation of millennials, right? He sees that they seem distracted. They seem they have strange attitudes about authority. There's different ways they talk about sex.
No, you can't have it.
And so he has gathered 900 church and ministry leaders that are going to put their heads together and try to figure out what to do about pornography.
Oh,
and
cool, a porn convention. Is it in Vegas? It should be.
No, it's in North Carolina.
Oh dear.
He says, I realize that most people, including pastors of the church, are blinded. They just don't know what's going on.
Well, they do say that blindness can be caused by over-masturbation.
They say that. He also goes on to say they can't even grasp the size of it.
Oh my.
Which,
he's a naughty one, that. I'll bet I can grasp the size.
You go for it, Dan. Let's see. So he says he's pulled together statistics from the Barna Group, I think is the name of the organization. They did a poll.
Right. That's an evangelical polling group, in case anybody doesn't know.
Exactly.
It's completely unbiased.
And so he says that young adults and teens see pornography as less immoral than littering. And 2/3 have engaged in sexting.
Oh dear.
Yeah, exchanging naughty pictures with each other. And then 53% of pastors have reported that 53% of pastors are kind of confused. They don't acknowledge that they have a problem. They don't see a problem in their churches. But this is, apparently those 57% of pastors and 64% of youth pastors admit to having watched porn.
Just for research purposes, though.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Can I just want to do a quick poll of the room here. How many people here believe that porn is less immoral than littering? Oh, you sick bastards. You're disgusting, all of you.
But I feel good.
Don't litter. I think the moral of the story is don't litter. Littering is terrible.
But they have some really, they've got some awesome presenters.
Okay.
They have Bernie Anderson, who a pastor who published a book about his own battle with pornography.
And you said Bernie, I thought they had somebody else.
And then Shelley Lovin, a former porn star, who founded the Pink Cross Foundation, which is a ministry that they minister to performers in the pornography industry.
What did you say your last name was?
Lovin.
Yeah, okay. It's nice because it works both for porn and for Christianity. It's a very useful. Lovin is a very useful name to have.
Yeah, so they have a 10-year follow-up plan to address pornography, and they hope that in the next year or two that they're able to accomplish a total global awareness of not just the problem, but also some really good solutions.
I got news for him. We're aware. I mean, 96% of the internet is porn. We know. We're familiar.
And then one last thing, Dan.
Oh, okay.
I want people to walk out saying, I want to be a Martin Luther King Jr. I want to be a revolutionary and stand up and make a difference. Martin Luther King.
The MLK of porn. Everybody, I hope we can all get behind that. I'm just trying to picture what, like, Rosa Parks would have had to have done in the fight against porn. I'm just gonna let you guys mull that one over for a bit. Should we take a video break? This is, I believe, what we're about to see. Yeah. Anybody know who that guy is? Yeah, he's a Mormon like we used to be. Both of us used to be Mormons. He just hasn't figured out that it's bullshit yet. So, he got his own side. The conservatives were taking him to task because he was up in arms about a thing that's going to be happening. I don't want to give too much away, but I guess as background we should probably say that.
Well, I think if you just, so everybody knows about the temple in Palmyra that was destroyed.
That ISIS destroyed this
right.
temple. Apparently it was a temple for Baal. So, and Baal is apparently very bad. And then because this was destroyed and it's a World Heritage Site,
and it's in Syria. So what he thinks is about to happen.
Yeah, well, so they're building a couple of replicas of the arches for this temple in London and New York, and he's very upset. And now other people have taken him to task. So
the World Heritage Foundation, they took the two arches from the Temple of Baal, got them out. We were about to put one in Trafalgar Square in London and the other in Times Square. That's it though. We are taking the entrance of the Temple of Baal and putting one in Times Square and one in Trafalgar Square.
Why would we do that?
We're doing that to promote World Heritage Week.
terrible.
So in some ways, it's a neat thing that you can see this old ancient thing, but it was the Temple of Baal. I don't think we should be promoting. No, that's not a good idea.
Putting it up exactly 13 days before Baal's biggest day of the year. May 1st is the big day, and it's going
May 1st?
May 1st is the big day.
May Day.
And it's going
Wow.
up April.
Wow.
I was wondering if the big day was May 1st.
Think of that. It's
Holiday.
You guys, seriously.
Oh, jeez. That's something.
What's Satanic Holy Day?
April 19th. So that's
Why would we do that? I mean, okay, you're gonna put it up.
Creepy.
Why would you put it up on the high holy day of Satan?
there's
Good.
Oh,
Holly. Almighty, what are we doing? It's really creepy. And that's what Drudge is making fun of me on. I mean, if you want to pay attention at all, what are you doing? I mean, we are slapping God in the face over and over and over again. And our press is making fun of this country was established through the might and the power of the Almighty God. And I'm sorry if that's politically incorrect, but read our own documents.
It's also factually incorrect.
They were led here by God. They established this country by God. Our founding
Watch what the cameraman does.
are all
Brad, focus to the documents there, Ryan.
to us. We borrow them. He gives them to us to protect. And what are we doing in our darkest hour? We are erecting in Times Square, America's crossroads. We are erecting the Temple of Baal on Satan's high holy days. And nobody seems to care, and the press is silent, and that's something that conservative organizations care to mock me about. Toast.
And that is his own replica of the Oval Office.
Yeah, I
I don't know
mean,
if you noticed that.
you guys have one of those, don't you?
It was,
Replica of the old one. He's just, This is just a thing we do. We like to play goofy people getting really worried
Yeah.
on our show.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that guy. He's on. Hey, did any of you guys? I just saw in Wisconsin like a week ago that Ted Cruz hosted a showing of God's Not Dead 2. Did any of you guys go to that? No? Oh, you missed out, I'm sure. I haven't seen the film. I'm sure it's brilliant though. Oh.
Well, we saw the first one.
We saw the first
Review
one
on the show.
Don't recommend. A little bit on the. I mean, you can watch it, but you have fast forward rating. It's boring. So that's the real problem. Is that like it's not just that Christian like materials are wrong.
Yeah.
They're boring. That's the problem with them. Anyway, okay, so let's get to what we were actually wanting to talk about today. This is the part of our show where we, pour our hearts out for you. So what we wanted to talk about is the thing that we have gotten most comments about in relation to our dumb little podcast and what we're about, and that is the fact that we don't seem to be angry, and a lot of people take us to task for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think we're angry enough. And then a lot of other people write to us and thank us for
Our pathological happiness.
for giving them permission to be atheist and still be outraged by bullshit, but like not be mad all the time. So we just wanted to talk about atheist anger a little bit, which is a thing, and rightfully so. Let's not forget that, like, bullshit happens to atheists. Like, some crazy, awful things happen. You come out of the closet to your parents, and, anybody here have a bad experience coming out of the closet as an atheist? Yeah, right? It happens a lot. Boy, on our trip through the South, we met some folks, and it was great. Like, we met these amazing people, but, we met one guy whose story touched me so much. He literally, so he had a job in a public school. Public school should be able to be out and proud in a public school, but he was in a public school in Alabama, and he knew full well that they wouldn't fire him because he'd have grounds for a lawsuit, but he knew that his advancement in the school. Yeah. He was in administration in some way.
Yeah, his career would be over.
Would just stop. He knew that for a fact because his boss was a pastor, and his boss's boss was a pastor. And also, not for nothing, his dad was a pastor, and he knew that if he came out of the closet as an atheist, his dad would lose his job. So there were 3 people in the world that knew that this guy didn't believe in God until he told us, and we bumped it up to 5.
Yeah.
This is what we're up against. Now that is outrageous, and yeah, it's something to be angry about. And so I think that there's Greta Christina. Do you guys know who she is? She's a writer. She's a blogger. She's great. We had her on our show a while back, and she wrote a book called I don't know. I'm mad. Something.
Why are you atheists so angry?
Yeah. Why are you atheists so angry? Is what she wrote. That's not the same as I'm mad. I thought that was anyway. Same basic concept. You guys get what we're talking about. So she was on this show, and everything she brings up in that book, absolutely correct. There are 1,001 reasons to be super pissed off.
Yeah.
So why aren't we mad, Frank?
Do you want my why aren't?
I mean, I literally just turned to you and asked you a question.
Well, I'll tell you why I think that I'm not too mad.
Okay.
I grew up in an incredibly passive-aggressive culture.
Oh, Mormons!
Mormon culture.
It's the Mormons! We're good at it. You guys may think you're good at passive aggression. You got nothing on Mormons, baby. Woo! They can smile at your face, and the shit that's going on in the back of their mind, you'll never know. You'll never know.
But I don't think that that's what so I feel like I developed a desire to be happy because no, that's the wrong way of saying it. The Mormon church made me feel like I always had to be happy, right? And that's sort of the message that we keep hearing over and over from
like Mormon leaders.
Yes, exactly.
General authorities of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
Well, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
But Hinckley, one of the top leaders of the church, actually instructed. He got up in front of the meeting of basically the central meeting of all the women, the General Relief Society meeting, and told them that they should. If they're ever feeling a little sad, go into a closet.
This is the women of the
The
church.
women of the church. Go into a closet, close the door, have your cry, and come out with a smile on your face. This was his message, right? This is
Great advice for any of you if you want to take it.
Bottle it up. That's all you have to do. And so when I
Have you
say
seen the Book of Mormon, the musical? That whole song about like just turn it off. That's just true about Mormons. That's what they think.
so pathological happiness, I think it's until you like step away from it, like we've done, you end up just sort of having a really rough time with it and everything.
Yeah, I think that so yes, we were kind of raised to believe that happiness is paramount. And what's great is that they kept telling us that Mormonism would give us that happiness, and it never did. So we've got the desire for the happiness, and we just gave up all of their bullshit about what makes you happy. So that was kind of cool. I mean, I think you're right.
Yeah.
We kind of were set on the path to looking for things that make us happy. But it's not just about happiness.
No.
You don't have to be happy. But what I've found in my life, here's my current obsession. I have I had a realization. I believe it's a realization, and I'm not a scientist, but I've read like at least 4 scientific articles, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. I feel like what I realize is that we have these amazing prefrontal cortexes and these amazing cognitive abilities, and I feel like we've evolved to the point where, here's my metaphor. You get it. We've evolved to the point where we have these amazing computer processor chips, just like state-of-the-art. Intel doesn't even know about it yet. We've got these amazing processor chips, and we're in an old like Commodore 64 computer. We just don't have the capacity to use it well. And the reason I know this is because I'm smart, and I'm an idiot. I'm a smart guy, but I'm constantly doing boneheaded things, basically all the time. And I look around at the world and I see guys like Glenn Beck, who's a smart guy, and he believes crazy things. And he says them out loud to everybody. He believes the most insane things, and then he makes predictions, and they don't come true, and nobody calls him on it. And this is how we as a species are. This is our lot for this period of history. We're all gonna believe a bunch of bullshit about homeopathy, and we're just gonna believe stuff. And I can't be mad at that, because everybody's just kind of trying their best.
And it's kind of funny.
And it's funny, so that's what we're getting at. I think the main thing is that I just see it all as it's frustrating, and we have to fight. There's a lot of work to be done, and we, as non-believers, as people of a minority opinion in this country, there's a lot we need to work to gain acceptance, to spread the good word. Former Mormons, so we believe in evangelizing. We should send all of you out door to door to tell everybody about atheism and teach the discussions. But in the end, it's funny, these people. So, this is another video that we made on our road trip through the South. This was in Mississippi, and we'll just let Frank tell you all about that. Come on, Darcy, get on it.
clue, but look at this place. What a pretty town. Got beautiful downtown. Look at these streets. Look at these churches. Got Episcopalian, Methodist, Catholic, Baptist, and we got some of this. This used to be a grocery store, from my understanding. A grocery store / church. This is the house of prayer for the church people to worship the Lord. Please read this. Thank you.
So we did.
It's hard to tell how long the thing has been rotting, right? You look at these flowers, you would assume they've been here quite a while to get to this stage. Look like there's still good light bulbs. I wonder, it's hard to figure out, maybe, no? The good Reverend H.D. Davis set this whole thing up as a public display of his faith. And it's one of the things that we've noticed a lot of in the South are public displays. Typically, we're going to have like a little cross, right? Or a little sign that says Jesus saves on the legislative property. But Reverend Dennis felt like he needed to do something a little bit more creative, a little more grand for the people of his community.
So, that's what we're up against. A worthy adversary indeed. It's just goofball stuff. I mean, we actually, if you go to our YouTube channel, that's youtube.com/TGIAtheist. You can see those, but there's also one where I explore the most amazing, this was in Alabama, the most amazing thing is like probably an acre total of land that has old appliances, like refrigerators and stoves and ovens and the things, all like sort of spread out and spray painted with like, hell is hot, 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 and Jesus saves, and like all of this stuff, like on appliances. Like this guy's, the medium for his message was clearly like broken down Maytag. That's his golden plates. Indeed. So anyway, I guess that's the bulk of the message is that we just we're here to have fun, and we hope that you guys go out into the world, make a difference, and enjoy yourselves too. Is there any other?
There was one more thing.
Oh yeah. Well, oh, there's one more thing. Oh yeah. I was going to show you this. This came up on my Facebook feed. This is pretty funny. This is what we are like, you guys. So I don't know if you know this. Characters of atheists. Homosexuality. Yeah. That's this one. So they're right on that one. Which maybe, I don't know, rape? Maybe? Have you ever raped? No, I don't know about that. Use of profane language, nailed it. Nailed it on that one. Number 5, which, by the way, you'll notice has a closed parentheses instead of the period. I take that to be significant. Murder. Anybody here murdered anybody? Like not lately, probably. I'm sure it's fine. You're fine. Don't raise your hand. It's probably a bad idea. Yeah, lots of things. Very naive in reasoning. You'll notice crime, worship of false god. Bale made it on number 14. There he is, huh? Bale. He's like our new buddy. They are at 16. They are hard-headed in wickedness. Yeah, I will say I've met some very hard-headed atheists. I believe that. They are fools. Isn't there? There's a scripture. I mean, who here's a Bible scholar? There's a scripture that says that calling someone a fool is bad. I don't remember. Jesus said something about it. You can just trust me on that one. That's fine. Liars, bloodsuckers. That's nice. They are doomed. They defend Satan, which, raise your hands, anybody here believe in Satan? No? But we defend him anyway. That's fun. Living with fear, clever fools. Now We have been upgraded. We were fools above, but now we've gotten, at least we're clever about it. That's good. I'm gonna skip all the way down to the last one, which is kind of blurred out because the person who did the screenshot didn't see it. Number 31. Billions of wickedness are in their chromosomes. I can't even begin to parse out this language. Like, I've puzzled over this. Like, I try in my brain to, like, give them benefit of the doubt and just be like, okay, well, grammatically it may not work, but what are they trying to... No, there's no way that that's... I'm going to read it again. One moment, please. Billions of wickedness are in their chromosomes. I don't know which genes code for wickedness, but we've got billions of them. Yeah, so that's what we're up against. If you guys can go out there and convince one person that you only have millions of wickedness in your chromosome, I think we will have made progress in the world. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys.